Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to JJC Jerseys virtual chat. I am Brittany with the Discover Dairy program, and we are so excited to have you today joining us as we get to meet Farmer Jodi and, of course, her adorable adopted calves, Abby, Kady, Pepper, and Queenie. Today's chat wouldn't be possible without the generous support of the Midwest Dairy Association and the Dairy Excellence Foundation. So thank you to both of those organizations for making today possible. First, this live chat is part of the Adopt a Cow program. And for anyone that might be new to Discover Dairy or Adopt a Cow, it is a free online resource that covers Common Core standards in math, reading, and science, all while talking about really great dairy concepts. If you're interested in learning more or finding those free resources, those can be found at www.discoverdairy.com. We'd also love for you to join the Adopt a Cow Fund next year. So if you're interested in joining again, or you're new to the program and want to join the fund, registration will open on May 1st. To receive an email about registration, complete the short form at discoverdairy.com/adopt. Or if you wait till May 1st, that same website will take you to the actual registration link. So again, that's discoverdairy.com/adopt. Next, as everyone continues to join us live today, you'll see that chat feature is enabled. So please continue to feel free and ask questions, comment, let us know where you're coming from. We can see all of you joining us today. As you're using that, though, please be mindful that we want to make sure we keep those comments and questions related to the chat and school appropriate. We are really excited to hear those questions, and I know Farmer Jodi is excited to answer them. So let's just see who's joining us today before we visit Farmer Jodi. So let's see. We have our first one that joined us today was a kindergarten class in North Dakota. So hello, welcome everybody. We have a fourth grade class, Montrose fourth grade class in South Dakota. Welcome. Second grade class from Norfolk, Nebraska. Hello, good afternoon. We have a sixth grade homeschool group from North Dakota. All City Elementary, third, fourth, and fifth graders joining us. Hello, everybody. We've got Mrs. Brunn's first grade class from South Dakota who adopted Kady. And let's see, a fifth grade class from Bridgewater Emory School and a first grade class from Windsor Pilger Public Schools, and another class who also adopted Kady and Pepper. Awesome. So thank you so much, everybody, for joining us today. As you join us, please continue letting us know where you're joining us from. If you're watching this on replay, please feel free to let us know where you're joining in the comments, and you can also use that comment section of the video if you have any questions. We'll go ahead and answer them later after the chat. So with that, I am pleased to introduce you to Farmer Jodi from Beaver Crossing, Nebraska. Hey, Farmer Jodi, how are you doing today?
We are doing fabulous here on the dairy.
Awesome.
It is a bright, sunny day, and it's beautiful.
Awesome. Oh, we're so excited to see you and the girls and get an update on them and learn about you and your farm. So I will let you take it away and tell us about you and your farm.
All right. So like Brittany said, I am Jodi. And my husband Jason and I and our 6 kids all run our family dairy. We milk about 220 cows right now. Mostly we have the Jerseys, the little brown ones, but we do have a few of all the breeds. So as you can see, we've got the 3 Jerseys and then we have a brown Swiss there. So we try to represent all of our breeds here on our dairy. My husband is 3rd generation on the farm, and our kids have a strong desire to stay on the farm and keep the dairy going. So they will be 4th generation.
Oh, that is amazing. 4th generation running that farm someday. That just, well, I mean, I say someday, but I'm pretty sure your kids are pretty active on the farm already, right?
They are. They pretty much run the place, and we're just, bystanders. But.
Oh, that's awesome. What do each one of them enjoy a certain part of the farm?
I would have to say that there's 2 that really get the milking part. They get the cows and they know all the cows. My daughter does all the calf chores, so she feeds about 60 calves every day, twice a day. She's very good at that. She takes really good care of them. Can tell if they're feeling under the weather or anything. We get them taken care of. I have my oldest son does a lot of the outside work, and by outside work I mean he does the blading and the scraping of the lots so that our lots are clean and manure free, and he does a lot of the feeding. So he does mainly that, and then I have my son Grant, who kind of does a little bit of everything. He does the chickens, and he milks. We also have dairy goats, so he milks the dairy goats, and so he kind of does a little bit of everything. And then Henry, my 6-year-old, he just likes to entertain everybody. So he entertains the calves, he entertains the goats, and yeah, so he'll
Aw.
get into it one of these days.
That's awesome. Oh, I love to hear that it's a family affair. We can tell you guys all take big part in this farm, and clearly taking doing a great job of taking care of these girls too. I see them standing next to you, and they look awfully big. So, would you like to give us an update on how they're doing,
Oh,
Farmer Jodi?
yes, I can, and I have my cards here so I can keep everybody straight because the brown ones all look alike. So here, and I don't know if she'll turn this way. This one is Abby, if we can get to her. That one is Abby. So for those of you that have Abby, she is about 40 inches tall. We just measured her today, and she weighs about 177 pounds.
Wow.
So she's
Oh
she's
my
growing well, and she looks good.
Yeah, she does. She is
Yes.
looking big. I love her circles around her eyes. I think her circles are more prominent than a lot of other cows,
Yep.
and I love that those circles on her eyes. I think she's
Yep.
so cute.
And let's see, who can we zoom in on next? They've all kind of taken to standing in a corner right now. So
They are herd
and
animals. They
they're
travel as a herd.
and they all turn their back to us. So okay. So that one right there is Pepper. So for those of you that had Pepper, there she is, and the jerseys you'll see are roughly all about the same size. They're smaller. A good example is you can see her standing right there next to the Swiss, how much smaller she is.
Yeah.
For being the same age, you can see the Swiss is a bigger breed and the Jersey, is obviously smaller. So again, Pepper was about 40 inches tall and her weight was 175.
Oh my
So they're
goodness.
all about the same.
Oh
And
wow.
then if we get to the brown Swiss,
Pepper is
the
enjoying the highlight
yes,
right now.
and there is Kady, the brown Swiss. And you
Oh,
can see she was about 46 inches when we measured her, so you could really see that size difference
yeah.
when she was standing next to the other one. And then her weight was about 275. So
Oh wow.
she is just a bigger animal.
Yeah. I would say so. And now, is there a lot of difference between breed to breed, or, do you have to raise them differently, or are they, how does that work with
Um,
different breeds?
some people will feed them more milk, but we don't. We're all on the same. They all get the same amount in each bottle, which is 4 pints,
Okay.
and they get that twice a day. We feed ours formula, and
Mm.
they have fresh water and a grain in their hutch. From about day one, they have access to water and grain. So yeah, that's what they eat.
Awesome.
All right, and then Queenie is in the corner there, and Queenie, she again is about 40 inches tall, and her weight was 185.
I was gonna say she looks a little bit bigger than the others.
Well, and you can really see her because we have a nephew that does some fitting of animals for shows and fairs and things like that. So he's kind of been looking at some of our heifers and clipping them up to see how they look when they have their hair clipped off. So
Yeah.
that's one of the things you do for shows is you clip all the hair off so you can really see the body of the animal, and that's what has happened to Queenie. She got a haircut.
She got a haircut.
She
She
did.
looks beautiful. And I'll
Yep.
say, I'll take this opportunity right now to say, we welcome all questions. Go ahead and put them in the chat for us, so
Yeah.
Farmer Jodi can answer them for you. But I do have a
Yes.
question for you, Farmer Jodi.
Okay.
I can see the fuzzy ones. We can't really see much body tone or anything, but with the clipped one, we do see some ribs. Is that normal for a cow to be able to see their ribs? Is it skinny or is that normal? What's the body condition
That
like for a
that
cow?
is perfectly, seeing the ribs is perfectly normal. These are dairy cows, so I want to say when I distinguish between a dairy cow or a heifer and a beef heifer or a beef cow, they
Mhm.
have different jobs. So a dairy animal, their job is to make milk. So that's where their energy goes. That's where their calories go, is towards making that milk. So they don't put a lot of weight on.
Right.
So you can see those bones, those ribs and hips and things like that. When you look at a beef animal, a beef animal has a different job. A beef animal is to grow and produce meat. So you want them to be bulkier and bigger, and that's how their meat grows.
Right. That makes sense. Because she definitely is, she looks I would say she looks like a prima donna. She looks like a queenie. That's exactly what she looks like
Well,
right now.
and I want to say, when we're getting them ready for shows and things, they are kind of like our own little supermodel,
Mhm.
because you think of a supermodel on the runway, they get their hair done, they get their nails done,
Right.
they're combed and they're showered, and they have all these things to make them look beautiful. Well, that's what we
Right.
do for a calf. They get their hair done, they get their nails done, so they're looking their best when they walk in that
Oh,
show ring.
that's awesome. I'm sure they enjoy the pampering.
Yeah, they get used to it. Yeah.
Right? Yeah. So Farmer Jodi, we've had some good questions coming in. So first, just
Okay.
to start us off, if you don't mind reminding us how old all of these ladies are right now.
So when you started the program, I don't remember which month they started getting
I
the
think
updates, but these were all born in
October.
September, right?
Yes, that sounds right.
Yes. Yes. So they were all born in September. So
So they're
we
probably
count
like
our
7 months or so.
yeah, almost 7 months for most of
Yeah.
them. Yep.
Oh my goodness, they're
Yep.
getting big. I can't believe it's that long already. They were
Yes.
wondering what they eat every day right now. So I know we talked about how they drank milk when they were younger, but what is their diet like right now?
So right now they have moved, when they come out of the hutch, which is where they started out, it's like a big doghouse. They each have their own individual pen. When they come out of there, they go into like a group pen. So they have moved up, let's see, 1, 2, 3. They have moved up to their fourth pen. So instead of being like 15 to 20 of them in a group, they're now in a much bigger group where there's about 75 of them out there. So there's a much bigger herd of them,
Right.
and they've moved from grain and hay to now they also get grain, but they get a TMR, which is a total mixed ration. So what goes into that is, every farm is different, but in our ration there's hay, there's a little bit of corn silage, there's straw, and there's some ground corn, and then we have some supplement that we put in there, which is just like vitamins and extra minerals for them to help
Hmm.
keep them healthy, much like you would take a multivitamin. That's what our calves get.
Right. Hmm. Interesting. So they are definitely they are eating probably better than I am right now because they
Well, more
are given
more
such a good diet.
nutritionally sound, because we do have a nutritionist, and he comes out and he analyzes the feed, the silage and the hay and everything, and so
Yep.
he makes sure that we have the correct amounts of each of those items to feed them properly.
Gotcha. Very cool. Whoop. Looks like we were having a little video issue, but I think we're good now again. So that's good. um, darn equipment can be wonderful when it wants to
Yes.
work, right?
Yes. And it's Monday, so that
Of course, right? Exactly. Oh, right. So looks these girls are looking good. So just and you had mentioned that they've moved now 4 times or so. So where we're
Mhm.
at right now with these girls is not their normal pen. They're usually in a really
No.
big open pen right now. We just brought them
Yes.
here so we could
Yep.
hang out with them for a half hour. But do you want to? So
Because
in there, go ahead.
if we had them out in their regular pen, which we could have done, number one, it's really windy, so we don't want to be out there in the dust. But number two, we would have our calves. Jerseys are known for being very curious. So if we were out there in a pen of 75 of these very curious animals, we would be licked on and bumped and rubbed, and we probably wouldn't see our calves half the time.
Right.
So we needed to separate.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. Oh my
But
goodness.
they're all friends out there, but
Right. Yeah, we would have been very friendly with a lot of them.
yes.
Yeah, so they're not usually in this pen. This is usually, I
No.
think this is usually where the newborns kind of start. Does that sound correct?
This is we call it the calving barn.
Yep.
We don't do a lot of calving in here, but we do keep, right now all of our hutches are full, so we do have some newborns in here
Oh.
that are all resting peacefully.
Oh my gosh.
We have
Look
one,
how
2, 3.
cute.
There are 5 little jerseys in there, and then that white one is another breed. That's a milking shorthorn.
Oh my gosh.
And these were
They
all
look
born.
so little.
The shorthorn was born yesterday, and then the jerseys were all born within 2 to 3 days.
Wow.
And one of them we just brought over this morning, so it was just this morning. So these are all the youngins.
Oh my gosh. And then they'll do the same thing that our adopted calves did, right? Once there's a hutch,
Yep.
they'll move into a hutch and then
That's
continue moving.
exactly. Yep, that's what they did.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
These all get, we bottle feed all of our babies. So from the moment we get them, they get a bottle of colostrum from their moms, and then they continue on with bottles for 6 weeks, twice a day. And then for that 7th week, they get a bottle once a day. And then after that, we stop the bottle. That's called the weaning process. And that last week, we can just monitor them in the hutch and make sure they're eating and drinking, and then they get to be moved.
Oh my gosh. Now you mentioned that they get to drink the mother's colostrum. So what does that mean that they get their mother's colostrum? Are their mothers still on the farm? We had a couple questions just asking about the moms, just how does that dynamic work, and maybe why do you keep the calves separate from the moms?
The mother cows are still all on the farm. They go after they calve, they go into the milk line so that they are producing milk for you guys to drink and make ice cream and cheese out of, all that good stuff. But the colostrum is that first milk, and that has all the immune boosting properties that the calves need once they're not inside their moms anymore. It just helps them grow better and be healthier those first few days after birth.
Yeah.
So then, the cows they come through the barn and they are milked twice a day, and they produce way more milk than what these calves could drink. So it's good for the cows to get milked out and keeps them healthy. And that's what we aim for with all of our animals, to be healthy and happy.
Yeah. Now you mentioned they're milked twice a day, but I'm pretty sure they end up getting to relax probably 95% of the day, right? How long is that milking time for those cows?
They're in the barn actually getting milked probably from start to finish. Through the whole process, it's probably 15 to 20 minutes. So when they come in the barn, they come in, and just from being cows and being outside and laying in the sand, whatever they do get dirty. So we wipe them off, and then we have a pre-dip that helps get the bacteria and things like that off of them. So we pre-dip, then we wipe that pre-dip off, and then we strip a little bit out of each quarter, just to get, make sure that their milk is healthy, and help them let their milk down. And then when they're done milking, we have an iodine dip that helps keep bacteria out.
Wow. So the actual milk, when you put the milker on, it's maybe 5 to 7 minutes tops, right?
Yeah,
and then the rest is just the prep work.
Yes, and it depends. A lot of it depends on the cow. A cow that is just fresh, or is at the peak of her milking, she's going to take a little bit longer to milk because she has a lot more milk to give. A cow that is towards the end of her lactation or towards the end of her milk time, she's not going to produce as much because she's getting ready to go dry, and she can go have her little vacation before she has her calf.
Right. And dry means that they not that they're dehydrated, but that they just no longer produce milk, right?
That's right. That means when we have a dry cow, that means they're bred or they're pregnant, and they're going to go relax for about 60 days in a different pen with many other dry cows, and all they have to do there is eat and drink and relax, because they are growing another calf inside. So so they get to take a little break.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. They get essentially a 60-day vacation, which I would love a 60-day vacation.
Yeah, and we feed them, so it's like they're getting their meals taken care of, and breakfast in bed kind of when they're on that 60-day vacation.
Oh my gosh, that's incredible. And we say vacation, but the reality is while they're quote unquote working, they really only work for like 10 minutes a day. And it's very relaxing, enjoyable work. And then they get to just leisurely eat and do everything they want the rest of the time. So.
They get to they're very social animals, so they get to hang out with their friends. They can work for 20 minutes a day, and the rest of the time they can either sleep, eat, or hang out with their friends. So
right.
I mean, that's like the dream.
Right, exactly. I love it. Oh, it sounds like your cows are very well taken care of on your farm, which is awesome. And these calves are like very curious. Like, this is not a normal pen. What is going on? Like,
they are. And you'll see them, like the one is like chewing on the wood. And we've had people say, "Oh, your cows must be hungry." Well, they can have a bunk full of feed, but Jerseys are known for licking things and chewing on things. And most of our gates here used to be white, but they've licked on the panels so much that they're not white anymore. So yeah, they chew on plastic, they lick stuff, they're
just really curious.
Yes, they are.
Oh my gosh. We had a really good question about the tags in their ears. They were wondering, how do you put the tags in the ears and what are they for?
So the tags in their ear, we have like Kady over there, she has a big tag, and that says her number 6034. And then this Jersey here has a 1931 on hers. Those will be their permanent tags. That will be that's the number that we have on their registration paper, and that's how we identify them through test and everything.
Gotcha.
So that's how we identify them. That's how we can look out in the lot, and if we see somebody who's not doing well, or is acting strangely, we can say, okay, it's this number and we need to take care of her. So that's our main way of identifying them. Now these other two over here have the smaller tags, and that is their mom's number. So we know who their mom is. They just haven't got their big tags yet. So
gotcha.
Those tags will get cut out of their, I mean, we snip off the back so it doesn't cut their ear or anything.
Right. Just cut the plastic. Yeah.
Yeah, we cut the plastic of the tag, and then that'll fall out, and we'll use, my husband Jason retags them, goes into the same hole, so it's not it's not making another hole in there.
Right. Just kind of like a new earring you're putting in.
Yes. It's essentially, it's like when you get your ears pierced, it's kind of like that, even looks like that kind of a tool. It just kind of snips it together, and they kind of shake their head, and then they go on. So
yeah, they're pretty relaxed. They don't seem to bother them, and it's a great way of you keeping track of them all. So
yes, we also give them a tattoo. So they have in each of they each have their number is tattooed in their ear.
So if they lose their tag, then you still know who's who.
Yes, we have a way to identify them, is that permanent tattoo that's in their ear.
Right. Well, because they definitely all look a lot alike. And kind of talking about that with, jerseys all look very similar. And someone was asking, what classifies a cow as a jersey? Like, does that mean that they're a dairy animal, or what makes something a jersey versus something a Holstein?
Okay, so I mean, besides the color, the Holsteins are going to be your black and white ones, or red and white. They have that coloring too. The jerseys, that's their physical difference, is the color and the size. But if you want to look deeper at their differences, A Jersey does not produce as much milk as a Holstein, but their milk has more solids in it. And by solid, I mean it has the butter fat and the protein. So it's thicker. It's more
Gotcha.
creamy. It's more creamy than what a Holstein's milk would be. So
Ah.
a Holstein will produce more,
Hmm.
but it's not as creamy as what the Jersey is.
Right. And so that makes sense. And so you guys probably, your milk can go towards maybe making cheese or ice cream, heavier, thicker dairy products. And the reason, and to make it super simple for anybody that's wondering, the basic difference is it's just a different breed. So they're all
Right.
still dairy cows.
Yep.
It's just
Yep.
this happens to be, it's like a difference between a German Shepherd and a Golden
Right.
Retriever. They're all
Yep.
dogs. It's just different breeds. So same thing
Yep.
as
And
these guys.
yep, that's exactly. And we have the brown Swiss and the Jerseys right here. We have a few of every breed here. So we do have a few Holsteins, and then we have mainly Jerseys, and we have brown Swiss. We have some Ayrshire and some milking Shorthorn, and we do have a couple of Guernseys. Those are
Wow.
the main breeds. We do have one that is called a Dutch belt. She's a
Ooh.
milking Dutch belt. So she looks like an Oreo cookie if you were to see her in the field. She's black on the ends, and then where her belly is white. So we call her the Oreo.
Aw. Oh, that's
So
cute. I love it.
so
We've had a couple folks asking about how many cows do you have in general? So calves, heifers, replacement heifers, milking cows, and then
okay.
how many calves do you have born a year?
Oh goodness. So we're milking we're milking about 220, and that would be the cows. So then with heifers, which would be the young stock, we probably have around 250. So,
Yeah.
roughly 450 or so right now.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then when you ask about how many we have in a year, um, well, right, we probably have, I can go by our ear tags. We roughly have probably 120 born a year.
Wow. That's
So,
incredible. And they all get to join the milking herd and the
well,
mamas still stick around and it's just
yep, yep,
yep.
yep. Everybody, yeah, we raise all of our heifers here on the farm, and they move from pen to pen. And when they get old enough and they have a calf themselves, then they join the milk herd.
Oh my gosh. Oh, and this little one right now. She must be hungry. She's
Well,
starting she looks really young. She can't is
she,
this your
she
newest one?
this is probably the newest one, and she has not had her colostrum yet
Gotcha.
because we're still milking, so her mama hasn't been milked yet. So
Gotcha.
as soon as that happens,
She'll get her
she will
milk.
get her bottle. Yes.
Aha. Gotcha. We have this is a really good question from Miss Schlecht Ricketts. They were asking, how do you take care of the hooves of the cows?
The hooves. So when they're young, like they are right now, the heifers, they don't usually require a whole lot. But when we get to the cows, then they do require a little bit more care. So we have a hoof trimmer come. He comes probably every 3 or 4 months, and it's essentially kind of like getting a pedicure. They put them into a chute so the cows don't get away or kick or anything,
Mhm.
and he will trim their hooves, make sure their nails are good and healthy for their feet. Um, Sometimes they can step on, since we do have sand bedding. Sometimes they'll get a piece of sand or something like that in their hoof, and you know how that would feel on your foot. So
Right.
sometimes we have to kind of file that and get that out, or if it's really sore, we might have to wrap it, like put a band-aid on it,
Mhm.
just to keep that foot healthy and get it healed up so the mama's not limping or in pain or anything.
Yeah. Oh, that's pretty cool. They've got the
Yeah,
pedicurist comes to them instead of us having to go to
that's
the salon. That's pretty
I
nice.
don't even get my nails done, so the cows are doing better than me.
Right? Oh my goodness. We had a good question. They're wondering if you've ever had any twins on your farm.
Twins, yes, we have had. I don't even know how many. I mean, they're not super common, but we do have probably a couple sets a year at least.
Oh my goodness. That's
Yep.
incredible.
We've never
Awesome.
had anything more than twins. So
Yeah.
that's
Oh, and that's good, right? Because it can be kind of
yes.
dangerous for the babies and for the moms if there's
Yes.
triplets or anything. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And they're, if they're twins, typically they'll come a little early, so they're a little
Mhm.
smaller. So you want it to be one, and you want it to be a healthy one. So
Gotcha. Gotcha. We had a good question asking about what's the typical age of a milking dairy cow on your farm, and maybe what's the oldest cow you've ever had on your farm?
oh goodness. I don't know, the typical age we've got. So when we typically start breeding around 12 months or 1 year. Um, and their time that they're pregnant is around 9 months, about the same as a human. So hopefully when they calve in and enter the milk herd, they're around 2 years of age. um, and the oldest one that we've got, gosh, I don't even know. I want to say my favorite cow, my Daisy, she was almost 10 years old when she left the herd. So
Wow.
that's,
Oh,
yeah.
yeah, and that's old. I've heard what most people have told me is that one human or one cow year is about equal to 10 human years. So
Yeah.
10-year-old cow, she was 100 years old, and that was old. She was time for retirement, I would say. It
Yes,
was
yes, she was a good cow.
Oh, that's awesome. Well, I'm glad you were able to have such
Yes,
longevity on your farm, and that's really
yes.
nice.
And
Um,
I want to say the average age on our farm, I mean, we have a lot of 4 and 5 and 6 year olds. I mean,
sure.
they're so, yeah, we keep them as long as possible. They're
Yeah.
they're
Hmm.
they're our cows.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. We've had some folks asking just how much water does a cow drink in a day and how much food do they eat in a day?
Oh goodness.
A grown
So
cow.
the water, I mean, typically you'll see a statistic that says, oh, they drink a bathtub full of water in a day, which that's probably a good average.
Hmm.
When it's cold out, when it's wintertime, they're not going to drink as much because they're cooler.
Right.
But in the summertime, when it's hot, I tend to think they would drink more than a bathtub because they need that water, to stay healthy.
Right. Yeah.
And feed. Oh goodness, I I don't know exactly how much they eat, like per cow eats per day. I do know that we feed the animals or feed the cows twice a day, and we will mix up at least 8,000 pounds of feed each time.
Wow.
So, so that's roughly 4 ton
Yeah.
at a time and twice a day. So they eat a lot.
Yeah, I would say so. And I'm sure jerseys are a little bit different. I know Holsteins, which are the bigger animal for anyone that's
Yep.
listening, and the black and white ones, your Chick-fil-A cow,
Yep.
they eat close to 100 pounds of feed a day. So a jersey is
Yeah.
probably a little less,
A,
60 to
a little
70
bit.
pounds
Yep.
maybe, or some, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, oh,
Yep.
look at her
But
chewing her cud.
that is the sign of a happy, content animal. They're
Hmm.
just hanging out. We like you compare it to chewing your gum. You're just kind of chilling.
Aw. Oh yeah, she's happy. That's awesome. Oh, Farmer Jodi, we have had a lot of fun with you today. We know there were some questions we weren't able to get to, and I apologize everybody, but we're running out of time here. But I wanted to give Farmer Jodi a chance to answer one last question here.
Okay.
And some folks were asking a little bit similar questions too. So I want to end with, what is your why? Why have you chosen to be a dairy farmer? Why do you do what you do every
Oh,
day and produce the delicious milk that you do? Because I would not survive without my ice cream in life. So I am very thankful for you, but what's your reason of why you do it?
um, the reason why it always makes you think why. I mean, then you have to analyze everything. Um, Sometimes I don't think that we choose to be a dairy farmer, that it kind of chose us. Um, my husband, Jason, I mean, he grew up on this farm, and there are 8 kids in his family, and he's the only one that is doing dairy. I think it's something that is just it's in his blood, it's in his
Yeah.
DNA. And that kind of goes for our kids too. it's just in them to do this.
Aw.
But when you want to answer the why, I think the why is for our kids. I mean, I can think of, there are a lot of great places to raise kids. And for us, I think that this farm and this life is the best way to raise our kids.
Yeah.
It's something they can learn a lot from. They learn a lot about life, and responsibility, and taking care of something that depends totally on you.
Yeah.
We do it for our kids, that hopefully there is something here for them, when they want to come back to it.
Oh.
And we just love our animals. I mean, they're the best.
They
So
are. Oh, we love that passion. There's nothing better than creating a wonderful home for your own kids and, of course, a wonderful home for the girls and for your awesome cows. I mean, they clearly are very relaxed. They're all chewing their cud, which is a really good sign. Everyone, and even though they got moved to a different pen for a couple minutes here, they're even relaxed in here. So they
yes,
clearly are very happy and content with you and the way that they are being raised on your farm, and they are going to live a very happy and healthy life once they join the milking herd and have their own babies.
yes,
It sounds so wonderful. And so, Farmer Jodi,
yes,
to wrap up here today, we want to say thank you so much for what you do for the dairy industry, taking care of these cows in a very graceful way and taking really good care of the environment and our community. And it's just a wonderful story that you guys get
yes.
to do this, and not many people get to say they get to own and run a dairy
That's
farm. So
that's right.
yeah,
Um,
we love it.
So do I have a quick second here? I want to give a
Go
shout
for it.
out to some people if I can. So we
Oh,
were
I
at
would
an
love
Earth
to.
Day. We were at an Earth Day event in Omaha on Saturday, and we had 3 students from Ackerman Elementary or Middle School stop by and met with them. Met with them. It was so great to see students and how excited they were to meet me. I'm just farmer, so it was really great to see how excited they were and how much they love their calf and learning
Oh,
about the calves. And then I also want to give a shout out to, my son is in kindergarten at Centennial, and
aw.
Henry. I know they're on a field trip today, but hopefully they'll catch this on the replay. So a quick shout out to Henry, because he says that his classmates don't believe that these were really his calves. So yes, they are really Henry's calves, and he helps take care of them. So
Oh,
thank you.
I love it. Oh, well, I hope you all listening. Henry, it's real. This is his real life, and these are
It
his real cows. So awesome. Oh, thank you so much, Farmer Jodi. This has been wonderful. And thank you to those who came and joined Farmer Jodi at the Earth Day event in Omaha. We had some folks saying, hey, we're from Omaha too, which is really exciting. So awesome. Thank you so much. This has been a lot of fun this year. I hope everyone enjoyed getting to learn about their calves. If you had fun this year, we hope to see you in the program next year. Again, you can go to discoverdairy.com/adopt and sign up for next year's program starting May 1st. Thank you so much, everybody. We look forward to seeing you in the program next year. And thank you, Farmer Jodi, for letting us adopt from your farm this year. It's been great.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Take care, everybody. Bye.